to the 80/20 Baseball Podcast. Strike! The 80/20 Coaching Masterclass, our weekly get-together where coaches go from new to good and good to great. Mastering the fundamentals and the art of coaching.
Welcome, everyone, to our weekly get-together. Pumped up to be here with all of you. If you haven't already, head over to 8020baseball.com and get yourself the coaching plan. It's an advanced coaching approach tailored for youth baseball coaches, a ready-made coaching template that will efficiently and effectively improve all of your players' skills. So not only will they perform better, they'll have more fun. I have set up a promotion, a promo code, GreatCoach25. It gets you 25% off what I believe to be an already amazing price. This will be the best price it'll ever be at. The discount ends in less than 2 weeks at the end of May. Speaking of the coaching plan, I received an email from a coach who bought it saying, "Hey coach, we did the ground ball blitz last night and wow, what a fantastic drill. Thanks for all you do." All these drills were put together with a lot of thought. And I know there are a lot of drills out there that you can find, but most of the drills I've seen over the years that you can get out there seem to have been put together quickly and not with a lot of detail. All the drills you'll find in the coaching plan have been put together with a ton of effort, a ton of detail, and they flat out work. So 8020baseball.com, right there at the top of the homepage, you'll see the coaching plan. So head over there and get it at the best price it's going to be at. Now, in today's episode, we got the top 5 coaching posts of the month, and we'll discuss 4 things that we should look to remove from our practices before adding to our practices and our coaching toolbox. But first, last week, we added to our discussion about communication errors. I mentioned how this is a mistake I made early on in my coaching career, and that is to not pay close attention to the words that I was using, especially in youth baseball, not paying attention to the terminology that I was using. And just the other day, I was talking to somebody about sandals versus flip-flops. And I've been buying rainbow sandals for over 20 years. They're my go-to. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about, rainbow sandals. But rainbow sandals are technically not even sandals. The company for almost 50 years has been called Rainbow Sandals, when in fact, they pretty much only sell flip-flops. That's what they're known for, flip-flops. They're based out of SoCal. They've been around since the late 70s. And what I always took for granted, calling them rainbow sandals, I have a pair of rainbow sandals, when in fact they're really flip-flops. So I know it's not a baseball one, but it goes to show you in all parts of our life, communication, clarification could be in order. And on a more baseball specific level, I watch MLB Network all the time, and not 5 minutes goes by where they're using terminology that is specifically directed, and they even say it's directed towards younger coaches, younger players, yet then they slide in terminology that's at a major league level or an advanced college level, or at a minimum high school varsity level. So whether we're talking about sandals or flip-flops or PFPs or the slide step or rolling over a ground ball or a pickle or scooping it or digging it, let's be sure that our communication gets across to our kids cleanly and clearly. And let's keep an awareness out for the level of our terminology, our words, our messages to our players, our kids, our teams. And if in doubt, follow up with a simplified definition or some age-appropriate synonyms and really eliminate or reduce any miscommunication or confusion. All right, I am pumped to bring our top 5 coaching posts of the month.
The top 5 coaching posts of the month.
This may be the best set of 5 posts we've had on this show. Starting off, number 1, this was posted by John Perry at jperry_NIXA. John posted what looks like a screenshot from the Pure Athlete podcast, a quote from Hall of Fame pitcher Tom Glavine that says, quote, "If your kid is playing a sport and you've got a coach telling you your kid needs to play year round because if he does not, the kid down the street is going to pass him by, you need to run from that coach," end quote. Hall of Fame pitcher Tom Glavine giving his opinion on this. And for what it's worth, I completely agree. Now, if you have a coach that says your kid should spend an extra 30 minutes working on a specific skill, that's different. Or if you have a coach that says, hey, it may be a good idea to do some tee work at home in the off season, that's different. But if coaches are trying to get a kid to play year round for a team signed up where they're paying year round, especially if they're saying that if he doesn't, then the kid down the street is going to pass him by. It's a scare tactic. Playing year round doesn't mean improvement, doesn't guarantee improvement. The quality of practice is more important than the quantity of practice up to a point. If a kid only plays a 2-month season out of the year, that's probably not enough. Even if their practices are all dialed in and perfect, you need to play a few more months of baseball than that. But instead of playing more, play better baseball, train better. Coaching post of the month, number 2. This one is by Brandon Guyer. Brandon is a former Major League outfielder, played for the Tampa Bay Rays and the Cleveland Indians, played 7 years, from 2011 to 2018, from Westchester, Pennsylvania. His nickname, La Piñata, the Piñata. He led the major leagues in hit by pitches 3 straight years and had a career total of 85 hit by pitches. That's the highest rate in MLB history for players with at least 1,000 plate appearances. Hey, if you're not going to make the Hall of Fame, that's one heck of a stat to be at the top of the list on. Some nice bragging rights. Brandon Guyer posted a video of his 5-year-old son doing a pre-pitch routine, and here's what he says. Here's my 5-year-old son locking in with a meaningful breath as part of his pre-pitch routine. It doesn't matter how old you are, if you're stepping on the field without a set routine between pitches, you're leaving success up to chance. End quote. That's probably one of the biggest reasons to have a routine. Routines can keep training efficient and focused, but also it gives you something to adjust. It's a process anchor that then can be adjusted, just like you would run a study. If you were to run a great study, you'd have to remove variables, essentially have a very strict process that's followed so it can be tested and analyzed, assessed. And in our case, our routines could be adjusted and improved. So the pre-breath pitch routine, we've talked about this on the podcast. Something as simple as just picking up a focal point somewhere on the field. It's very common to focus on the bat and take a nice full breath. That's the key, is a nice full breath, shrugging the shoulders up a little and then letting them down, releasing that breath. And I think the third biggest thing about having a routine is that it gives the mind, our thoughts, something positive and productive to anchor to, or at a minimum, even if it's not something super productive, it's not something negative. And those negative thoughts can creep in really quickly. Idle minds out on a baseball field can open the door to a lot of negative thoughts. All right, post number 3 in our top 5 X posts of the month. This is by Coach Switala. Hope I'm saying that right. Switala. Coach Switala posted this. This has to do with getting the best outcome on a bad call by the umpire. He said, quote, "This is our runner yesterday, clearly safe. Umpire called him out." Now there's a picture of the runner sliding into third base. It looks as though he's clearly safe. So anyways, the umpire called him out, and Coach Switala said, "I asked calmly to check with the home plate umpire, who then overruled the play and got it right. I didn't yell or scream or make a scene. Umpires are doing the best they can." I'll tell you what, we yell and scream at umpires, they're going to put up a shield. They are much less likely to change a call. And that goes for the other umpire reversing his buddy's call or his partner's call. If you do it calm and respectfully, don't make a scene, with the idea of giving the perception to everybody at the field that the umpires came to the conclusion that the call needed to be reversed. The perception is that it was up to the umpire to change the call. They weren't coerced. They weren't forced. They weren't threatened into changing the call. We have a great episode on that a while back. I lay out a 2-step process for handling all bad calls, or at least perceived bad calls, with umpires. And it sounds like Coach Switala is following that process and having success with it. All right, post number 4 of our top 5. Baseball IQ. Baseball IQ_app. They got a pretty good amount of followers. And Baseball IQ, who put some really good stuff out, some good posts, they put a video out of Christian Walker. Most people know he's a well-known Major League Baseball player, first baseman, good hitter, but a really good first baseman. And we talked about this on the show a while back. And the post says, Christian Walker on first base defense, talking about how to play first base. Number 1, don't stride too early. Read the throw. Number 2, keep your pick window small. So picking the ball, scooping the ball. We're not going to dive into that part of it. Number 3, always expect a bad throw. We've had a video on the website, 8020baseball.com. The video is titled Playing First Base Correctly, and it's been on the website for like 5 years. And if you go watch that video on 8020 Baseball, I show how to play first base correctly. I talk about it. Out of all the infield adjustments you can make, it's probably the biggest bang for your buck. Out of all the infield positions you could coach up in terms of the impact on run prevention and how quickly it can be coached up. Because it doesn't have to do with athleticism. It's more strategy. It's not like you have to get your shortstop faster and moving side to side and get his arm stronger. It's a relatively quick fix. You could even get a novice first baseman within about a half season really dialed in on this. So a great post by Baseball IQ. And if you haven't seen that video at 8020baseball.com, go watch it like right after this podcast. There's like 14 videos over there. All of them are for youth coaches or coaches of all levels. All right, post number 5. Now this one hits home a little bit. This is by Kevin Dahlstrom, Dahlstrom. Kevin's X handle is @camp4. And here goes the post. At 54, here's something I think about a lot. The good old days don't feel like it at the time. It feels more like struggle. From the age of 25 to 45, you're in the thick of it, building a career, raising kids, trying to get ahead, or just keep up with life. It's so easy to lose perspective and forget that. You're in the sweet spot. One day you'll look back on that struggle as the best of times. Every season of life has its pros and cons, triumphs and challenges, but there's nothing quite like the prime adult years. So what are we to do about it? Simply recognize that you're living your good old days right now. Slow down, savor it, smell the roses, because I'm here to tell you, the days are long, but the years fly by. And it appears to be a video of Kevin teaching his daughters how to ride a bike, or one of his daughters how to ride a bike. The days are long, but the years fly by. The good old days are right now. Thought that was a great post, and the video of him teaching his young kid how to ride the bike helps to calibrate our mindset, get us in a better spot, keep us on the right path. All right, so we had Tom Glavine saying, run if a coach tells you your kid needs to play year-round, because if he doesn't, another kid down the street's going to pass him by. Number 2, Brandon Guyer was talking about a pre-pitch routine. Should have a breath, a focal point. On top of that would be icing on the cake, slowing down their thoughts. Number 3, if you want to get an umpire to overturn their call, the fastest way to stop that from happening, cause a scene, act the fool, call out the umpire. Christian Walker, one of the best first basemen, stretch to the throw, not to the thrower. And the 5th one, Kevin Dahlstrom posted, we're living in the good old days right now. Let's slow down, savor it, smell the roses. The days are long, but the years fly by. All right, those 5 are solid. I like the variety there. Good stuff. Now, let's finish with this short segment. 4 things we can eliminate, or you could say 4 things we should probably or need to eliminate before adding more to our coaching toolbox. Something you hear in the business world a lot, not that I'm a business expert by any means, but I do hear it a lot from those people that seem to have a clue about business. They talk about addition by subtraction, greatness by elimination. They discuss the best decisions they've made or the things they haven't done. Now, of course, they're not talking about being lazy. They're definitely moving forward, making decisions, executing. But there was a quote by Steve Jobs. He said, at Apple, over the years, they're more proud of the things they haven't done than the products they have made. And this addition by subtraction is something that doesn't get discussed a lot in the coaching world. And I think you hear it more in other areas of life, definitely in business. I mean, there's tons of books on it, like The One Thing. That's a very well-known book. Or Essentialism, another good book. But here are 4 things as coaches, instead of always seeking to add things to make our practices more fun or to make our season more enjoyable, make our practices more productive. Here are 4 examples of things we could eliminate, reduce, or minimize starting today that will increase the success of our team or improve the likelihood that our team gets better, our players get better, they have more fun, etc. Number 1, yelling at players. Yelling at players, just in general. Save the yelling for urgent safety situations. And in my opinion, that's it. I'm big on being firm with players. I'm big on discipline. I'm not big on yelling unless it's a safety issue. And that's the nice thing about not yelling a lot. Players stop in their tracks because they know Coach Bo, they know Coach Joe, Coach John, Coach Randy. They know we're not yelling ever, except when they need to stop because there's a bat being swung in an area it shouldn't be. There's a player walking behind an area that's going to have an errant throw come its way real soon, or what have you. So yelling, let's eliminate that. Save it for those urgent safety incidents, or at least in a preventative way. Number 2, trying to correct and coach up every mistake a player makes. let's eliminate or at least reduce and minimize slow-moving drills. And lastly, let's remove any unnecessary complexity from our practices, from our drills. Simplify them. That doesn't mean we're not teaching them an advanced approach to training. That doesn't mean you can't use advanced drills. In fact, all the drills in the coaching plan, I think, are easily advanced enough to be used in college or at the professional level. Definitely the high school varsity level, but they've been designed to be simple enough to implement with youth baseball players successfully. So let's look to remove complexity from practices. So before we look to add a lot more, let's first eliminate yelling. Let's reduce how much correction we're doing after every mistake. This is hard for most coaches. I made this mistake early on. Every time one of my pitchers would make a bad pitch, I'd give them feedback. Now, I played with coaches who didn't give any feedback at all. I don't know why that was the case, but it would be like one piece of advice in a whole bullpen session. That's not the way to go about it either. And it wasn't like I was pinpointing every pitch. It wasn't like I was throwing perfect bullpen sessions. There was definitely stuff to work on. So also, let's look to remove slow-moving drills or duplicate drills, things that cover the same things. Again, the coaching plan, those drills are designed so there's no duplicates, but you still cover everything. And number 4, let's minimize and reduce the complexity at our practices. Keeping the game simple allows players to play fast and free. All right. Love being here with all of you. Next week, 3 specific ways to effectively communicate with our kids, our players, our team. And remember, we could have some of the best coaching nuggets of all time, but if we can't communicate them to our team, our players, they're no good. Head over and use Great Coach 25 on the 8020baseball.com website to get the best price that the coaching plan is going to be at. It's got everything you need and more. All right, coaches, keep going out there and giving it your best. You should be proud of yourself for being a coach. Don't be hard on yourself. There's no such thing as a perfect coach. We're just trying to get a little bit better each time we step out on the field, and even a little bit better from the start to the end of each practice. It's always a good goal, too. All right, until next week, let's take care of our health so we can be at our best for our families, our close friends. Let's take it out to the field. Let's put it into play and go from there. Y'all take care. Until next week, adios.
This has been the 80-20 Baseball Podcast, the 80-20 Baseball Masterclass. We got this. Now, let's take the field.